gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, welcome to Basic Black After Dark, the show that meets you where you are and gives you what you ask for. I'm your host, Black Diamond, and we are celebrating National Reading Month. Tonight we're diving into the idea that readers are leaders. Throughout history, great leaders have emphasized the importance of reading for growth, leadership, and success. But what does that mean for our children today? How does reading shape their mindset, expand their opportunities, and make them better leaders? Harry S. Truman said it best: not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. Tonight, I am honored to welcome a very special guest, and they're right here in my studio. That's Veronica Randolph. That's right, she is the chairperson for Readers Are Leaders with Shiloh Baptist Church of Edmond. She is a passionate advocate for literacy, education. She is dedicated to empowering young minds through the power of reading. Please welcome Veronica to Basic Black After Dark.
Hi, good to be here. Good to be here.
Hi. So, Veronica, you are with Readers Are Leaders. Can you tell me about the show, the program, and how you got it started?
Readers are leaders. At my church, Shiloh Baptist Church of Edgemere, pastor is Bishop Hubert Brown. Me being the person that I am, and I'm a substitute teacher in the Baltimore County Public School System. Being in school with the kids and listening to the kids and realizing that the kids are having problems reading. From I sub from pre-K to 12th graders.
Oh, wow.
So being with those kids Monday through Wednesday, being in classes with them, listening to them, doing work with them, I see that the reading levels are very, very low.
Some of them are behind grade levels. Like you may have a fifth grader that could be on a second grade reading level.
Yes.
How does that happen where a child is just pushed through and allowed to go on? Is it because they're doing it because of the child's age or because the school is so full?
I don't know those. I don't know those statistics. I don't know those because I'm not a teacher.
Okay.
I'm just a sub looking in. So me looking in, I see that these kids just don't know how to read. Little words like it, the, was, when. So me going through those and hearing kids say, "Oh, I don't read. My teacher reads for me." And I'm like, well, I need you to read for yourself, because if you never learn how to read, you'll never learn how to read. So you can't keep having your teacher read for you. You need to get the reading for yourself so that you can carry that throughout your life.
Wow, so it sounds like they're missing the phonics.
I don't know what they're missing. They may be getting it in many of that backstory. I just know from what I saw. So from what I saw, I took that and I ran with it. Like I said, my bishop challenged us to do something for the community or anything that we wanted to do. And I took that. I said, well, let me just create something for the kids to help them to learn how to read. So I came up with a plan that I'm going to just open it up for the community, for my community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to open it up for my kids and my community for them to be able to come in and just read books. I don't care what book they read. I don't care any of that. I just need them to come in and learn how to read. So, and I would take the time and help them, guide them the way that I know how. I wasn't doing no curriculum. I wasn't doing any of that. I just need to get my kids on a level higher than where they are.
I'm glad that you picked that kind of program because reading is, it sounds like a pun, it is fundamental. And it's very important for them, our children, to learn how to read and to get that foundation. And there's so many of them that don't get that foundation to be able to even read beyond a third grade reading level. I know here in this state, if for some that are adults,
Mm-hmm.
if they don't have an eighth grade reading level, they don't even qualify for certain employments.
Correct.
And that's hard because you have a, just say, a 30-year-old man who can't read beyond the eighth grade, so he can't get a job.
Right.
And I'm not going to use the name of a certain fast food place that he can't even get a job in there. He can't get a job in a pie factory.
Exactly.
And that's really sad that he has to wait to get that age, and he becomes frustrated that he can't read or he can't work. So they try to find the best way they can. Can you share your thoughts on the impact of literacy on leadership?
Well, the impact of literacy on the leadership is significant. It really is. Literacy leads. It just plays a critical role in that part that we need leaders. We definitely need leaders to help. We need people to step up and help with the reading. Like I said, with the program, I open up the program to run from September through May.
Okay.
It's once a month, the third Saturday of every month. A friend of mine, again in the community of Turner Station, open up his church, Friendship Baptist Church. Pastor Donald Jones opened up his church for me to allow kids to come in and read. Again, critical. They need that. But the problem is the kids not coming in.
So how should the parents help their children incorporate reading into their daily routine?
If you think about how you read when you were young, back in the day, we started reading the funny pages, the comics. We was reading off the back of the cereal boxes. Those little things right there started us to reading. And then I can remember reading for myself. My dad used to come home from work and he'd make us stand up and he'd give us a book and he'd make us stand up and read the book. Mm-hmm. It was 7 of us. We all had to take a paragraph and stand up and read. So that's how reading helped me. It started me out helping. And I just feel as though what I know, I'm going to share what I know. So that's what I did.
This here is National Reading Month. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of schools are having projects and programs regarding National Reading Month. Do you think National Reading Month is important?
I do think it's important. I think National Reading Month should be every month. We all got to read. And I keep going back to substitute teaching. Because that's where I'm at right now. And that's what I see. When I'm in these classrooms, these kids are not reading. There are plenty of books in the classrooms, but I don't see them reading. I don't see them reading their assignments. I don't see them reading out of a book like we did to answer questions. I don't see that. I don't see reading being pushed. And it might be because, like I said, I'm only there 3 days.
Those important 3 days, to have somebody in there with our children. One of the things I noticed, and some people do blame it on COVID, that since COVID, that the reading levels have went down, and that a lot have contributed to mental health, which is a totally different subject, but it does impact our kids. What do you think about the technology? Because a lot of our kids are using laptops and their cell phones, and they got these emojis going on and half-spelled words. Like if they're talking about something, it's a few letters instead of the entire
thing.
Letter. So what is your take on that?
I think the technology is good because you can always have something to read. You can always open up that technology. Boom, it's something there to read. But again, we shortening stuff. We're not completely reading things. We keep chopping it up and making it simple, but it's not simple because we're not getting the whole understanding, and we're not making it out to be something that we're doing. We're just losing out.
Do you prefer the physical books over digital reading?
Digital reading could be good because, like I said, they can have it. But a physical book is something that I have in my hand. I can open it up. I can look at the pictures. I can figure it out. Through the pictures, I can share this book with somebody. So I do like the physical. I guess that's just old school.
I'm a stickler for old school because the kids are not even coming home with textbooks now.
Right.
They're coming home with ditto paper.
Yes.
And that's annoying to me. I complain and I fight about that every year. Every year I go to my children's school and I have to argue to give them those back-breaking books that we used to have to carry all the time. And it was the thing. It was a go-to for parents because if your parent is at home teaching you, they have something to reference.
Yes.
But now parents don't even have anything to reference. They're saying, here's a piece of paper and just do the best that you can.
Yes.
Who are they going to speak to when they can't figure out what it is? And with this new math, I'm at a loss. I'm going to be honest. I'm at a loss with the new math unless I have the book to be able to reference it for me to be able to see, oh, so this is how you do that problem and I can help my child. And that goes the same thing with reading because I feel as though it breaks it down for them. So I'm one that I'm all for the books.
I'm all for the books too.
I get that we can use technology. Maybe if you're looking up something, looking up history or something like that. But I think that they can do away with a lot of that technology because the kids are going to get to it anyway. No matter what we think or what we do.
Yeah. Some things when it ain't broke, just leave it alone. Just let the kids get their books.
How have social media and technology impacted children's reading habits?
I think it impacted their habits where it made them less of doing things because, first of all, everybody do have technology, but a lot of people still don't have technology.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some people have internet and some people don't have internet. So they seeing two different types of learning here. So I just think give my baby a book, let him read it.
Yeah, and when we talk about technology, you have a lot of grandparents raising their grandchildren. And a lot of them are not tech savvy.
They're not tech, and I know I'm one of them. I do hair.
So I ain't gonna sit here. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm one of them either, but I am.
Yeah.
And because I have to go to my kids sometimes to ask them about certain simple little things that you would think that I would know how to do, and I just can't. And my grandchildren will come to me and say, "Grandma, this, that, and the other," and I'm too embarrassed to tell them that I don't know how.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there going on like this, and their fingers are just moving. And it's amazing that they can do those things. But how are they going to apply that to the fundamentals of reading?
Because, like you said, they just on there moving it. They not reading the directions as to what to do. They just taking their finger and just figuring it out how to do it. So even though the technology there, they not reading how to do it. They just scanning and let me just try this and let me try that. So they still not reading.
They're going by memory.
They just go by memory and what someone else did. And I remember she did this and she did that. So I'm not reading as to what I'm doing. I'm just, like you said, I'm just doing by memory and I'm just strolling.
Yeah. So
it could be helping for another skill, but reading is not because they still can't read.
They're not reading with understanding.
Understanding.
So that's a key thing. That's a pet peeve of mine for children to read something and say, I read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does it
Yeah.
mean? You know, I asked them, what did they mean? Well, the guy said, and that's what I'll hear them say, no, that's not what they actually said. And then they get frustrated.
Because again, back to the school system with these, like you said, these dittos. Is reading part answer questions. They just answer the questions and give me that paper. Like, I know you ain't read that fast. You answered that too quick. I need you to go back. Then I say, because I'm a teacher 200%. I'm not a certified teacher. I ain't go to school for teaching, but I had good teachers in my life that I know how to conduct the school when I'm in them classroom. I would go as far as, okay, y'all get y'all ditto. Let's read it aloud so we all can read it, so we all can hear it. I need somebody to read. Not a hand go up.
Oh, wow.
Not a hand go up. Maybe somebody hand go up and they go, and then they read, and then they like, I'm like, I need you to read out loud. They mumbling. So to me, they still not clear as to what they're reading. And listen.
I'm wondering why some school systems are not picking up on that, or if they are, they're ignoring that. And then they tend to wonder why they have what they're calling nowadays ghost seats. They're calling them ghost seats because the children are not actually in there, but for some reason they're being accounted for as if they're in there. And I have seen it, you know, on the news that they're talking about ghost seats. They're talking about the kids not actually being in the schools. These kids can't read. They cannot read, and they're shying away from that, and they're doing everything else under the sun besides what they're doing. Now, my question to you is, how do books help children develop empathy and understand different perspectives?
It just let them see different things happening. You know, each book tell a story, and it sometimes it make them go into dreaming, and a lot of kids don't dream no more. You know what I mean? As you read a book, it can just take you to that place where that book is. Nowadays, it's not even there.
Yeah,
it's not even there.
So how important is representation in books? Because a lot of times stuff has been taken out. Because I'm at the C Jack Run phase when we started out reading. Now I know I'm telling my age, but C Jack Run and Sally and all them other common names.
Yes.
But now there's just a whole world, and I know we evolved, but I still think Jack is important.
I still think Jack and Susan is important. I love me some Jack and Susan, because that's how you start. You gotta start with them little words to get to the big words. Them, what do they call it? Sight words.
Yeah.
And sight words. Listen, sight words. They don't know how to spell these words. I remember was in a classroom one day. I guess I can't remember what grade level it was, but it was in the lower grade level. And the teacher left an assignment for them to write a story as to where I'm at. Draw a picture and then write the story as to where you think I'm at today or whatever. It seemed like everybody, once somebody said the teacher under a rock, everybody made the same story. Everybody had the same picture, however it was, and everybody just copied off the next person and went on. So, and then I was like, okay, when you finish, bring me your paper. So when they brought me their paper, I don't know what it said, but they read something. None of the words were spelled. I don't even know.
That's how they saw it.
That's how they saw it. But it was like, and me reading it, it didn't say Susan was under a rock. I didn't see the word Susan. I didn't see the word under, nor did I see the word rock. Like, you're reading something, but I'm looking at it. I can't tell what you wrote. I don't know. And everybody had the same story. It's like they find one person to start the story, then we all do the same thing. So nobody is taking their imagination further. They just getting stuck with one person. Oh, I'm gonna gravitate to what he said. That's why. Oh, I see the same thing. I'm like, oh, y'all can't see your teacher under a rock today. Somebody had to see her in the car. Somebody had to see her at the doctor's. All y'all can't see the rock. But that's what they wrote. I'm not the teacher. I just went with what they said. But I did try to help them.
I'm having more of a problem. I was helping my grandson do his homework, and he took out a sheet of paper, and I said, well, what's that? He said, that's my homework. So I'm going like this, like, well, where's the rest of it? And that's what he showed me. So I said, Anybody that knows me, I'm all about the education, and I'm always keeping spares. I went right into my closet, pulled out that suitcase, and I got that black and white marble composition book. And I said, here we go. So he looked at me and he was like, Grandma. And I was like, no, this is what we're going to do. Open it up, and you know that when it's a new book, you hear that seal. You hear that crackling of the seal because it's a new book. Yes, it's a fresh one, and this is yours. And what I had him do is something that he didn't even know existed. And that was put a heading on his page.
Oh, they're not doing that.
They're not doing that. So I told him, I said, your name goes here, your school goes there, your grade goes there, your class, and the date goes here. And he looked at me like I'm doing something foreign. And I guess to him, it was really foreign because he had no idea of what I was talking. I said, now, on the second line away from there, you put whatever the subject is. If it's English, it's English. If it's math, it's math. I said, if your paper gets torn out for whatever reason, they know a class, they know what teacher, and they know what student. They have all that information. Then your teacher knows what date you did it. And he just kept looking at me, and I said, this boy think that his grandmother's crazy. And he's probably going to say, I don't want grandma to help me with that work.
They don't want that.
Another thing that I see that they shied away from, that's cursing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
If these children, and there's no shade against this field, but if these children wanted to be doctors, they're going to be a doctor. And it wouldn't be no problem because their handwriting, you cannot understand it. Letters is falling off the line.
Oh, my goodness.
You got a capital letter where it shouldn't be. And it's just the spelling is horrible. I would have to take, and my mother did this, and I remember going to Catholic school. She would fold the paper in threes. You don't have to use no ruler to make the line because the paper folded in threes, and she kept those two rows folded. And I would have to write my spelling words 10 times each. 10 times each. 10 times
spelling
each.
Words really.
They don't do that no more.
Yeah, no spelling words. That's why kids can't spell. You talk about putting the paper. I need you to write your name on your paper. Or it's just their first name. They don't even write their last name. Half of them don't even know their last name, can't spell their last name. And I'm like, they're like, why did I put my last name? Just in case there's two Johnnies in the class, I need to know which Johnny's paper this is. Oh, yeah, that do make sense. Yeah, your first and your last name need to go on the paper. That's a problem. Holding a pencil, oh my gosh.
They got 4 feet.
They upside down, twisted around. It's just.
So they're not using those first pencils, those big thick pencils, because I know that's what we used.
We used them in the beginning. Fat crayons, fat pencils that show you how to hold a pencil. No, everything is thin, lead pencils, stuff that we don't do.
We had to get certain number pencils.
Number 2 pencils.
Number 2 pencils and whatnot. We had to get those in. It wasn't about those big thick erasers.
Yes.
You know, it was just the eraser that came on there.
Pencil.
You had a nice little pencil case. I was looking forward to going to school back in there because I got a new book.
Yeah.
Now back in my mother's time, it would be a tablet called a tablet. So we evolved since. Yeah. But now there's tablets again, but they're different types of tablets. So
it's just all kinds.
It was like a chalkboard kind of tablet that they wrote on, and then they used the rag to erase it.
Yeah.
Now we got the blackboards where you can erase it. Now they got smart boards.
Yeah.
And those smart boards to me are not so smart because they're going by so quick, and the teachers are just going like this, and the kids' heads are going.
Yeah. I'm glad system as a substitute teacher because it allowed me to see some things that I just don't believe that's going on, that's happening. And I'm just talking about learning. I'm not nothing else. We're gonna let that be another day. But just actually learning, because I have to give credit where credit is due. There are some awesome teachers that are still in these schools, still helping these kids learn, want these kids to learn, want these kids to know, and they doing a great job doing it. And then
it took me back just now. I remember it was 1992, and I was taking a college course. And while I was reading, I was standing in the hallway, and I was reading something on the board, and I couldn't quite see what it was. And I went to ask the woman that was standing next to me, did she know what it meant or what class this was? And when I looked at her, I just had this look on my face, and I just kept going like this. And I said, excuse me, is your last name Kelly? It used to be. And I started crying.
Mm-hmm.
And I was crying because she still had red hair. She was my former teacher.
Oh, wow.
I'm standing there and I
Oh,
said, Miss
wow.
Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Of course she didn't know who I was, but I
Right,
said, Miss
right.
Kelly, you used to work at, and I named the school. And she said, yes. I said, you used to be the teacher. I said, I'm going to tell you, you used to teach that everybody was scared to go to. I said, but she was effective.
Mm-hmm.
Being an adult, I can look back at it now.
Mm-hmm.
And she was still a beautiful woman, and she was there, and she was telling me she was on sabbatical. And I'm drawing back like, she's
Yeah.
still teaching.
Still teaching.
I'm
There's
a
some good
grown
teachers
woman
out
with
there.
kids, and she's still teaching.
Yeah.
So if you're still out there, Miss Kelly, hi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi. I wish you were
Yeah.
still around to teach my children. If you're
Yeah.
not teaching, that's a loss for the public school system. But
Yeah.
I just remember her so well that I wish that Miss Kelly's was in every school.
Every school, yeah. And there is still some Miss Kellys in some schools. It really are some awesome teachers out there. And I do applaud them for that, for what I see.
I see now, because I worked in a private school back home, and I worked in some schools here. And the teacher that I had in the school that I worked in, this gentleman took learning to a level that I didn't think that I would ever see.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just another person in the class, one of the aides, I guess, that they would consider, because it was a special school. And each child in that class had like a one-on-one to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that he taught that class, and he taught the parents to be able to teach their children just by the conversations he had.
Yeah.
If I had not already chosen a field,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I would have went into teaching, because he made it in a way, and it's not that he made it fun, but he made it worthwhile.
Yes.
And that's what made all the difference. And then when he left, I was sad that he left, but I was very honored and proud of him, because he opened up doors to other programs.
Yeah.
To which is still running today.
Yeah.
And I would love to say hello to, I'll say Mr. Joe. I'll call him that.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Joe. And I just want to let you know that you were, and you still are, a very awesome man to do the things that you did by these children.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't believe it. But one of the things, I'm going to go back to some of the schools that I see, they're talking about Professional Development Day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but I don't really think that they're really doing professional development during that time. They're calling it, and you're supposed to be in this having little meetings. You're supposed to be setting up your class. You're supposed to be getting certain trainings to advance yourself and advance the students, and coming up with other ways that you can work with the students and whatnot. But I've been to a couple of those professional development days when I was teaching in some of the schools, and they're ordering pizza, they're sitting around talking, they're just in and out, they're running errands, they're doing it. I'm just sitting there wondering, I was like, are we supposed to be doing this?
Yeah, but teachers need a break.
I get that, but that's what the summer's for. Now I'm gonna sit here and have to argue with you because my kids is in that school.
Yeah, but they don't
get paid. If they need a break,
summer. They don't get paid.
And then that's when they take their break.
Oh, okay.
Or either tutor or pick up something, because that's when the kids fall too. Yeah. But don't use the time that taxpayers, and I hate to go down that road, and I'm not trying to agree with certain elements of certain things by trying to cut education. But if that's a reason, then that's going to be the reason, because they're looking at things in a way that I don't agree with it. I'm not saying I do agree with cutting education, because I'm going to fight for that.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, for those teachers that's not using and utilizing the professional development the way that it was meant to be, please do.
Yeah, maybe they just need a little break, and maybe that's not the job for them anymore. But I think,
of course, they can burn out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with professional study day that the teachers are doing what needs to be done.
I truly hope so. And maybe it was just that batch that I just happened to be around. Maybe it was a bad batch.
Yeah, I'm gonna go what they doing, what they supposed to do, eating pizza and all. I ain't mad at them, because sometimes they need a break.
What are some effective strategies that parents can use to balance screen time and reading time?
They just gotta figure out what works for them, because parents still have a lot on their plate as well. Some parents work 2 jobs. Some parents don't work. Some parents do. Some don't. Some parents got a lot of kids. Some parents don't. Some parents got to take care of a kid. I don't know, but they have to figure out what works for them because they have to cut the screen time off to let them read. They got to take some time to read. That's the most important thing that I see. Kids got to read. You got to read to your kid. I don't care if it's 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. I don't know. That's a whole nother sit down. Let's figure something out.
I know of some kids that they go to school, they're in school for the duration, they come out of school and you see them walking down the block or sitting on the bus and they got something in their hand.
Oh yeah.
Some form of technology. And of course there's some reading going on, but it's not the reading that I'm thinking that should be going on. And then when they get home, they're turning the television on and they still have that equipment in their hand.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen a book. The book bags are going and thrown across the floor or left wherever they're at. And in the morning time, they're picking up. And I'm going to speak sometimes for mine because I have to yell in the morning or I have to say, no, turn the TV off. Mm-hmm. You know, and I guess I'm the bad auntie, the bad grandmother, and whatever. But your kids come to my house, you better bet your bippy. And I'm going to use that word bippy.
Yeah.
That they got to have, you know, some books in their hands or either they're not going to be visiting my home.
Yeah.
But those that live with me, I'm a stickler for it. Yeah, because see, my mom always told me that sheepskin they can't take from you.
That's right.
No matter what they do, no matter what they change, once that education is in there, they can't take it from you.
That's right.
They can take your job and a whole bunch of other stuff, but that's a piece of paper that they can't take from you. They can literally pull it out of your hand, but the knowledge is still there.
Yeah, when I came home from school, my mom was at work, so she didn't get off till at night. But I had older ones there, older brothers and sisters. You know, where your schoolwork, where your book? Let me look through your book. Parents went through your book bag. My mother went through our books at nighttime when she came home or whatever. They looked and they read. It was stuff to give to your parents that you had from the sign, them to look at a sign. Nowadays, it's nothing. Nothing. It's nothing. There's nothing in them book bags but a computer that they bring home.
A laptop. And they stay in the bags. They got those asynchronic days or whatever they call them. Those kids is not.
They not doing nothing with those computers when they bring them home, unless somebody else from down the corner using that computer for whatever reason. But
a lot of those kids is on there, and the schools are saying, well, some of the schools are saying that they can't get on these sites. These kids are on those sites.
They know how to get on.
They know how to use them. They're just like they were born with a tablet in their hand. Yeah. So are you kidding me with telling me that they're not on these sites? You can walk past a whole bunch of them in library time, and you're going to see them on YouTube and on whatever else that they're on, IG, Instagram, whatever they want to call these things, Facebook. Mm-hmm. They're on all of those things. They're not doing what you're doing. You can see them behind there looking at their friends doing all of this, and they're not doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, we got to create something for our kids. We have to just create something because our kids, they just have to get out here and read a little bit. Just a little bit. If parents figure out how to set up something for their kids, okay, you come home from school or whatever, I need you just to read this. If you read this, then you can go play. Yeah. But before you play, just read this. Yeah, it might be a little hard. I'm gonna help you, but let's figure out something where everybody can get the same thing. Let's make an app on a thing. Read it. Let me hear you read it. I need to hear the words. It ain't no mumbling. It ain't no. I need to hear you to say the word. Pronounce these words. You're not pronouncing words right. You're just saying whatever. And no, that's not it. Let's go back. Start over. I have a kid read. And they might be reading. I say, use your finger. Point to the word so you know the word what you're reading. So if you see it again, you know it. No, start over. And they get to read. No, I need you to start over. And they get upset. But I need you to start over. I need you to do it correct. No patience. I need you to get it correct. I want to
address some of this here.
Sure.
Patrice says, tag reading, bring it back. She also says, using the imagination. And she says she loves the diversity. And she says, yes, tag team read. It's fun. Said, my house, you have to read for 30 minutes in order to play technology for 30 minutes on the weekend.
That sounds good.
I like that.
I like that. And we all got to get on that.
Steal that.
Yeah, and if we all get on that same page as parents, then we can work with each other's parents in case I can bounce off you. Let me bounce off that. Yes, that's good.
She also says, hey, Shanette, thank you so much for joining us. She also says, that she hates that and that they need books. And what happened to textbooks? They have the technology and won't read. She says they're not. OMG, I deal with this every day.
Yes.
I want to let you know that I do know Patrice, and I'm going to say it. You might not want me to say it, but I'm going to say she's that black librarian that I know. And I keep saying it because growing up, we didn't have black librarians. And she knows her stuff.
We did.
So you did?
Yes,
I didn't.
Honey.
My
community, we had the
black
ladies. I didn't grow up
in that kind of community. We didn't have no black librarians.
Yes, I did.
And when she told me that she was a librarian, I was in awe of her telling me, because I said, this is the first time I had ever met a black librarian. Now, somebody may say, oh, you got to be kidding me. No, I'm honest. The schools that I went to, they were not black, and not to say they weren't. They were not black librarians where I went. Even when I went to high school, it was an all African-American school. And it wasn't, to tell you the truth, it wasn't even what you call a librarian in there. It was, you got to pull these numbers down and do all of this stuff because things started changing.
We had 3 black librarians in our community. One still living today. But we will go in that library, you make a noise. Shh. She'll get you one time. But that second time, you won't have to get out this library because I need you here reading. And they allowed us to read. And they made us read.
There used to be groups.
Yes,
where
they
kids
made
would
us come in there and read. We did not play in that library, but you learned.
Yeah. Times was different. One of the other things that I have a pet peeve about, and it does have to do with reading, and it's the results and the outcome, and that's the report cards. I have an issue with the grading on the report cards because I've seen and I've heard that a D is passing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a problem for me. Because if I see a D on my child's report card, because I tell them you're only allowed to bring home 1 C, and I really don't even want to see that. But if I see a D, the first thing I say is that D is not for dandy.
No, it's
and
not.
And when I see that, it's an F.
It's not.
It is an F. I don't care what letter they want to put behind it. It is a failure. And they don't even have F's anymore. They say E's.
Yeah,
and back in my time, E's was excellent. When I saw that when I first moved here, I'm gonna be honest, and I seen a couple of E's on my kid's report card, I was all happy and proud. My kid was standing there like, "Mommy happy," not because I thought that E was excellent. But I understand why my child got the E because they just moved here during that time and they couldn't get a grade. Yeah. So I'm thinking they got all E's and whatnot, but I had to go to the school and they had to explain it to me. I said, "Oh well, my child was getting all these E's," and they was telling me that the E's was not
ain't good, girl.
They weren't good, so I was shocked.
You can.
I'm sorry, but I was really shocked that it wasn't that because I was like, "What happened to the F's?"
You can get a C just for coming to class every day, or maybe a D. I mean, I know I done had a few D's, but.
So just coming to school, you can get a D.
Just coming to class every day, you get a D. You can get a D. Just coming to class every day, because it's your attendance. You're there every day. That's how. But as long as your D is turning into a C, that means you're progressing. But if that
what
D
you do, raise your hand and
now
you get a C?
Well, no, I mean you got to do the work. But nowadays you don't have to do the work. You gotta do the work.
And you get a D and you're passing.
Some teachers ain't doing the work. They just like, listen, I don't want them here next year.
So and that's what they're doing. They're just pushing them along.
Yeah, I'm sure that probably happened. But my focus is on reading. A program to help our kids read. And I went to East Point when I met Mr. Jamal. And he's giving away free books for kids to read. Free books. I need people to be running in that room getting them free books. They books. Come on, parents. I need you to wake up and just take 20 minutes and focus on your kid reading. Just 20 minutes. I ain't even going to say 30. Let's start at 20. Let's just start at 20.
I'm going to keep it real. And I think some reasons, and it may not be for every situation in every family, that you may have that problem with some parents is because the parents can't read.
Then we need to get a reading for parents. I'm all for that too. I need everybody to read. That's my thing. I need you to read because if you can't read, you ain't doing something right. You missing out on some good stuff. You missing out on somewhere you need to be. You missing out on helping somebody. You missing out. So if you need help reading, then we need to open up the reading for the parents as well as for the children.
But that sounds like an idea and it sounds like a plan.
I'm for it.
because
I'm for
I
it.
think some parents are so embarrassed to let their child know that they can't read the simple words that's on the paper for
Yeah.
them. And all jokes aside,
Yeah.
that when it comes to things like that, I think people need to pay attention that the child is having difficulties in school with reading because they have no one at home
Yes.
that can
Yes.
guide them in that way for them to be able to learn that they can't shape them in that way. So for their child to pick up their phone or a tablet or a laptop and be on it, they're quiet and they're out of the way, and the parent don't have to worry themselves or concern themselves with what's going on with the
Yeah.
child. And that is just so unfortunate
I
for
need you to
them.
break the embarrassment. Come on, let me help. I'm gonna say me. I can start. I got the kids every third Saturday. This month in March, we won't have it because there's a lot still going on. But April and May, third Saturday of those months from 12 to 3, we at Friendship Baptist Church, 307 Avondale Road in Turner Station. Bring the book you want to read and bring the children. Drop them off.
So they can bring their own books.
They can bring any book that they want to learn how to read or any book they want to read. I don't care. I don't care if it's a book beyond their control or beyond their thoughts. Bring the book. We can teach you some words, but I need you to understand what you're reading. I just need you to start reading and knowing how to pronounce these words.
So, what are some of the ways that that we can make reading enjoyable and engaging for these kids? Because they figure that the kids bore so quickly nowadays.
You gotta, yeah. That's another thing. We really need to find a way to make it fun, but at the same time, I'm making it fun. I need you to get it. Don't let it be fun and you still ain't getting it. That's a waste of time. Let's make it fun. Let's just get there. First of all, let's just get there. Once you get there, we're going to drop the elephant and we're going to start reading words. We can just start saying words. And I need you to recognize these words. However, again, it's not school curriculum. It's just how we doing it, how you feel. You comfortable doing it that way? That's how we going to do it. Because if I get you comfortable, you'll receive more. Because when you're not comfortable, you just shutting down. So I need you to be comfortable. I need you to be open, and I need you to get the words. I need you to read two sentences. Let's start there.
What are challenges do you see when it comes to getting the children excited about reading, and how does readers or leaders help overcome those obstacles?
I don't know.
Oh, that's honest.
I don't know. I don't know. I just, again, my focus on just, I need parents to get their children there. I need parents to be like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want my kid to do better. I want my kid to know better. I want to do better. All that. Let's start right here. Let's start. We got to start somewhere. We got to stop saying, well, this or well. We got to stop making excuses. That's it. Stop making excuses. Come. It don't cost you nothing. It's free time. And it's there. We have stuff. We got to use what we have. When it's shut down, that's going to be a problem. But now the doors are open. I need you to come through the doors.
Yeah.
I need you to come through the door because I have plenty of volunteers that want to help. I have people that want to help. I have good people that want to help, that can help your child go to the next step. But you got to bring your child there. I can't get everybody. I need somebody to step up and say, I got 5 kids. Okay, bring them. 12 to 3. Start at 12 and end at 3. When 3 o'clock come, I need you to be there to get them kids and get them home. Not 3:05. I need you there at 3. Because
it's a partnership. It's a give and take. What are your thoughts on schools? Or better yet, what are your thoughts on 504s and IEPs? Because some of these kids may need them, and some of them could be misdiagnosed.
Again,
with needing those.
Yeah, I'm not. Let me just say, I'm not. These are my opinions. I'm not certified in all this. But again, I do think when I see them in school, a lot of them kids, I think are misdiagnosed. And then again, there are some kids that need it. And then there are some kids that just need some discipline. They need some discipline.
Well,
some of them kids need some of them kids.
Well, I it depends on the discipline that you're talking about. I think every child should have an IEP, because an IEP is an individual educational plan, and these children are individuals.
Yes,
and each child learns differently than the next child. So the way that they built up IEPs, and this is my personal opinion, they're looking at children, or they're targeting children that they think that have certain delays, and they're associating it sometimes with ADHD. And that right there for me is a problem, because even some of our children, and I'm going off maybe a little bit, who are diagnosed with ADHD, they're misdiagnosed with ADHD because I do some training on certain subjects, and I come to find in some of the things that I have discovered with that those children really don't have ADHD as they're diagnosed. Those children were born with FAS, that's fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, and that can show a lot of the signs of that. But when you see certain children of certain cultures, the first thing they do is want to slap them with a label and say it's ADHD, and then slap them with another one, and that's an IEP or 504. And they're really not doing justice. And that sticks with that child from the moment that they're slapped with that label until the moment that they don't even graduate. They get a certificate. And that certificate is saying that you've completed the 8th grade level, but it doesn't give them the opportunity to go to college because it's a certificate. It is not a high school diploma. So parents, you are your child's best advocate.
Yes.
When it comes to your child's education. I implore you to go to the schools. You have the right to ask for a meeting. You put it in writing, and within most states, 30 days, they have to respond in some form of fashion, that they have to respond to you to let you know that they're going to set up a meeting. But get involved with what's going on to your school. I'm telling you, I do drive-bys, and not the drive-bys that most people may think. The drive-bys I do is I go drive up to their school, and I go by their principal's office, and I go in and I ask, come on, we're going to go over my child's curriculum and see what they're learning. They had one of my children in school, and they was telling me that they were giving them a class to learn how to do, I think it was a college prep course. I said, they don't need that course. I got them on the college prep. Give them these classes that they need right here and now. We can do college prep on the weekends with me. I know how to read. I know how to do all the college prep, and I can take them to the college to do that. But right now, they need these fundamentals right here in school. And we worked it out to where my child didn't have to take that course. And we added extra classes where they was able to graduate early with all the required courses that they needed, and they was able to go into college early. And that's what I do with each and every one of the children that I raise. I go to the schools and I make noise.
Yeah, you got to make noise.
I make noise and whatnot. I make noise. I do it at the Board of Education too. Yeah. And I said, I'm sorry, you're not going to play with my child's education. And you can play with other little things. You can play with somebody else. You can play with Timmy if you want to. But you're not going to play with my child's education, because that's going to be a problem that you're going to get from me. Because above anything else, that's one of my pet peeves. And that's to mess with my child's education. We're going to sit there and we're going to talk about this together. And we're going to open up that book. We're going to crack it wide open. We're going to have certain people sitting at that table.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. I remember, I remember in school, my parents was advocate for all of us. If it was a problem in school, my parents was at that school. If it wasn't right, they was at that school, which I applaud, and I appreciate that fact. I remember on 2 occasions. One was for me, I wanted to go to the trade. I want to take a trade. And you fill out those papers for the trade and blah, blah, blah. You send that stuff. And when it came back that I wasn't selected, well, my mother went to that school. Did what she did. Oh, I became selected.
See?
I became selected because she went and fought for me. She was involved. She stood for me and all that. And then at the end of the day, I was like, no, it's okay. I don't want to do it. That time. Yeah, because it was at 2 different places and I was playing sports. I didn't have time to get back and forth to 2. But anyway, it still worked out at the end. And the second time for me is when I was 12th grade and I was in go to school, work a half a day. I was in that program. October, I think it was October, I still had not gotten a job from that program.
Oh wow.
My mother went to that school, talked to my teacher as to what's the problem. Why doesn't she have her job yet? Everybody else do. Got me a job. That's when I started working for the federal government.
See, there you go.
Because my parents was there. They went and they fought for me. They knew I was qualified for whatever I wanted to do, and they fought for me. And that's what we got to do. We sit back and just accept. Oh, no, that's okay. They can't do it. And we just be like, oh, okay. No, G, let me show you this. That's my kid. You're not going to do this to my child. My child can do A, B, C, D. I want them in that program. Got in that program.
That's what you call a parent that's going to advocate. And you mentioned something about sports, but we have Patrice who said the same way they take them to practice for sports, take them to read, and that's absolutely right.
Exactly.
Take them to read. One of the things that also came to mind was that we have a lot of children who have absent parents, and I understand that the parent has to work. But there's so many different programs at these schools that you can enroll your children in.
Yes.
And if you enroll them in these programs, you're going to see a different breed of children.
Yes, you are.
And it's going to be so important because here's the thing. I want you to think of two things. You get sick and you need a doctor to wait on you. Dr. So-and-so can't read. Exactly. They get ready to operate on you. Because somehow they were pushed through.
They was pushed through, yes.
That's Dr. So-and-so who can't read.
Yeah.
Or better yet, you're 90 years old and you need your child to help take care of you. But your child can't even read the prescription to give you the right thing.
That's right.
So those are the ones that's our future. And you have to look beyond just, I need them to be home to babysit their younger brother or sister while I work. You have to look beyond that because you have to also look at their future as well.
Yeah.
You can't make that as an excuse or use it as an excuse because, of course, the child is going to want to stay home.
Right.
They're going to play. They're going to have to do whatever it is that they should be doing, and they should be in school.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so much that goes on in the schools that these children need to learn, but they're missing out on some valuable pieces of education. You know, that right there it's just unbelievable, the things that they will learn and the people that they can be if they miss those opportunities as far as being in school.
Yeah, it is stuff out there.
Yeah.
We just keep overlooking it. I ain't got time. Like you say, parents take them kids in them sports. Whatever sports they like them to be, they in there. Oh, my kid got to go play football today. Oh, my kid got to go play baseball. How about my kid got to read? How about these coaches? And I know some of them do this. If your grade's not right, you're not playing on the team.
But we got to look at it this way too, that you got a lot of them that I'm going to always go the opposite because I wanted to make sure that it's clear. You have some kids that play sports and some teachers are passing them just so they can stay on that team.
Just so they can stay on the team.
Just so they can stay on the team, that's for one. But what happens when your son, who's a wonderful football player, get a scholarship to go to certain colleges or either drafted and they can't read their contract?
Cannot.
Think about that. They can't read their contract. So guess who's being played as a fool? You all happy that, my son or whoever was drafted to this, that, and the other. They can't read the contract. And to tell you the truth, you can't either. All you're doing is seeing that my son was promised $1 million after 7 years of playing, when they could have got that $1 million after 1 year of playing. But you didn't read that contract. All you saw was that $1 million, and you knew that your son was a millionaire.
We just
got the taxes is going to hit him, and then what?
We got to do better. We got to want to do better, and we got to do better. And we got to go back to helping each other. Let's just help each other.
That's how your community grows.
Yeah, we got to help each other.
That's how your community grows. Well, Veronica, how can parents, educators, and community members support the mission of Readers Are Leaders?
By bringing your kids. That's all it is. That's the first start. Sign them up, bring your kids. Again, it runs from September to May. Now, that's just how I started it, just from the school year. I don't know what God going to allow me to do after that. And if he allows something bigger, that's what we're going to do. We need the kids. We just, that's the first start.
Tell them where you located at again.
So let me just yeah, okay. Let me go back a little bit as to where it started. My church. I'm sorry.
And you know your pastor gonna have a fit.
I know, right? My whole head just went that way.
He's gonna have the head on Sunday, and I'm gonna be there on Sunday too, because I'm gonna say she forgot your name. She forgot your name, and she could have pushed y'all out there.
My church, Edgemere Shallow in Edgemere, Maryland. Bishop Hebrew
Lord.
Brown.
I'm gonna tell.
He came up with us to challenge us to do something, which I did. I presented Readers Are Leaders because I want to help kids read. Friendship Baptist Church, Pastor Donald Jones opened up his church for me to go in with the kids. So that's how we got started. And I was running it from September to May. Third Saturday of each month from 12 to 3. Come and read. Let me help you. All it is, the help is there. I need you to come and get the help. That's all it is. And I just need kids to come and parents to bring them. And the parents, if you need help, hey, we got somebody that can help you too. We not judging nobody. We not looking down on anybody. We want our kids to know how to read. So that's how I need your help. Come sign up. And you can, my phone number, I can give out my phone number. It's 443-653-1966. That's 443-653-1966. You can call me, ask me any questions. How can I help? I'll do my best to do whatever I can. That's the first step.
Well, Veronica, thank you so much for being a guest on Basic Black After Dark.
Thanks for inviting
and sharing your insights and passion for literacy. We truly love your tenacity and bringing this to the forefront. I appreciate you for sharing the incredible work being done through Readers Are Leaders. Before we wrap up, you shared with them Readers Are Leaders and your support and your mission and how they can contact you. If you love this conversation and want your children to be leaders, remember, knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is leadership. Keep reading, keep growing, and keep leading. And of course, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode of Basic Black After Dark. You can catch us on Twitch, on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Thank you for tuning in. Join us on March 21st to Exposing Scammers, How to Spot, Avoid, and Protect Yourself. Also, stay tuned for our panel discussion on cracks in the surface, strengths in the core, not easily broken. Until next time, remember your story matters, your voice is powerful, and the best is yet to come. Thanks for keeping it basic, and good night.
Bye.